There's a group of kids that we might refer to as sensory defensive or sensitive or reactive that over-respond to light touch or certain sounds. They're the kids that we're going to be talking about today. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome to the MoveAbout Therapy Services YouTube channel. I'm Dave Jerub. I am the owner and director and occupational therapist at MoveAbout Therapy Services. I'm also co-creator of the MoveAbout activity cards with my beautiful wife, Kathy. And today I'm sitting on Copacabana Beach, my favorite location for these beach topics. And we're going to talk about sensory defensiveness, sensory sensitive, sensory reactive kids. Okay, so this is the fourth in a series that I said was going to be 4 parts. I think now it's going to be 5 parts. And we're looking at regulation and arousal across the day in different profiles. In the first one, which you really should go back and watch, pause this, open up another window, go back and watch the typical nervous system across the day. We look at what's it like in a typical nervous system, the highs and lows, and how that's impacted by sensory diet and different needs for people. What I did note, and that's really important if you're going to keep watching without going back, is that we sometimes use different terms for talking about different zones we're in. I like the alert program, and they talk about high, low, just right. I like to maybe call that the middle zone or the optimal band, because that's really about what's the zone that's right for what I need to do here, and that can actually change from task to task. But really, it's my optimal range for being awake and alert, but calm and grounded to engage in what I'm doing and engage with other people. So we talked about Eeyore, who had a really big low zone, and he plodded along and never quite get to that crisp, so he never really felt awake and alert in order to connect with others and to connect with the work he needed to do at school. We also talked about Tigger, and the Winnie Dunn Tigger had a really big low zone, and he seeks, trying to wake his body up, wake his brain up to try and be able to attend, but often overshoots and can move from excited to agitated or hyper and not able to focus in that way either. We also talked about a sensory seeker who may actually be hitting the high zone, and this might be one of the kids that we talk about today, and so he seeks to calm his body down. So let's put a pin in that one and we'll come back to him soon. If I'm looking at those profiles, a kid that might be referred to as reactive or sensory defensiveness might hit that high zone earlier than other people. They might have a smaller just right zone, and they get to that high zone quickly. Not only do they get to that high zone quickly, they go further than the average among us. They stay there longer, and they take longer to recover. With these guys, they don't habituate to things in their environment. You know, we should, in a classroom, if a door opens, we notice what it is, and we hear the chatter, and then we can focus back in. If the air conditioning kicks in, we might notice, but we come back. It's important to notice so that we can be able to identify, are things happening around us that are safe? But we also habituate. We get used to them. These guys don't habituate. They constantly can tune into that, and often that's more important than the teacher's voice or what they need to be doing. If it's about a tag in their shirt, it can really draw their attention and really suck a lot of their brain energy out, trying to tune out this particular thing. So I'm smiling because of someone running past, not because of the topic. So habituating, they go up high, they stay there long, and they take longer to recover as well, and they can't tune out that information. So for these guys, we really want to support them to be able to recognize things that are tough in their environment, and we want to increase their band of arousal so that they have a bigger range that they feel good in. We want to set them up for success with sensory diet so that they are deeper in their just right zone, so that when things are impacting them, they don't straight away flick them into that high zone. So they could be a guy so Winnie Dunn will break these guys into 2 different categories. She has the sensory defensive, I forget what she calls them now, but there's the reactive type, and then there's the avoidant type. And so the way she has it is, the first one, the world happens and they don't prepare for it, and then they react. The avoidant one avoids things so that they don't impact them. I don't see these guys as separate. What I would say, if I was going to give them Winnie the Pooh characters, if we had Eeyore before that had a big low zone, Tigger who was bouncing off the walls, this might be someone like Piglet who's super anxious and reactive and skittish to things. It could also be someone like owl or rabbit who are super controlling. You go here, you do this. This is how we set up my world so that the world doesn't mess with my sensory self. So this is a big topic in terms of how we support these kids. I'm not going to tell you how to treat these kids, but sensory diet is the key one to be able to support them to feel really grounded in their body so that when things happen, they can have those small jumps but stay in that just right zone. The TheraPressure program is a really powerful avenue into it that you really do need to be trained correctly to use that program. Okay, so I did talk about Tigger. So heading into the next video where we talk about you can be bits in one and other bits in the other, it's not so clear cut that you're necessarily just one profile. Last session when we talked about Tigger and sensory seekers, really the second example I gave where a guy was seeking to try and calm their nervous system, they could actually be someone who is both defensive and a seeker. They might be over-responding to everyday life activities such as smell or tastes or sounds or touch, but then they might seek movement or heavy work or deep touch to try and help themselves feel grounded. So let's talk about that a bit more in the next video. And thanks for watching the MoveAbout YouTube channel. Please do hit that red subscribe button. We love having you watching these videos. Give us your discussion. Tell us what you thought. Ask any questions. Let us know any other videos that you'd like me to do. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time.